Zowie Ninibong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. So today in the booth we've got a figure that I've been looking forward to reviewing for a while. This was actually one of the first pre-orders I put down on the second wave of Earthrise. It's taken a little while to get through to my main supplier that I get my figures from, but it's finally here and I'm really hyped to bring you this review on the Earthrise Wave 2 Alicon. Alicon's made their first appearance in the 1986 original Transformers movie. They did make some smaller appearances, I guess, within other Transformers media and season 3 of the TV show. They're hopefully going to make an appearance in Earthrise, but the trailer and certainly when they were speaking about things, they mentioned the mercenaries, but they didn't mention the Quintesson faction. So I've got my fingers crossed hugely that these guys are going to make an appearance in the TV show for Earthrise, if not Kingdom, because I would love to see these bad boys on the screen again. As always on this channel, let's start with a look at the packaging. The packaging, as always with these Earthrise figures, is absolutely incredible. We've got the see-through piece at the front of the box. We have Quintesson Alicon here with some nice Cybertronian at the top. He is a WFC E19. Transformers on the side, Transformers Cybertron on the bottom. Ages 8+. Takara Tomy, Transformers Generations, then underneath the stuff about don't eat your children and all those kind of things. The immense Transformers artwork on the side, absolutely loving this. I do believe now, as I've said in another video, that all of these figures have now been released in some form, either in Siege or in Earthrise, and now we also have some rumours and maybe a confirmation even of what's going to happen with the Ark, and hopefully we're going to get an Ark Titan before the end of it. Incredible. On the back we get the Alicon. This, obviously the artwork is very different. This is I think this is the Takara exclusive that they're bringing out. I think that's pink anyway, or more pinky, I guess. But this is very different to the Alicon that I've got. The Alicon I've got is more, I guess, movie accurate, so don't pay attention to the colours. But we get the 14 steps, some very nice pictures here. Quintesson and the Quintesson logo here. I really dig this Quintesson logo. I think it's really cool. Nice to see them getting a different faction logo. I don't think I've ever seen one before. The top we get Quintesson logo. Galvatron, who has still not been released yet, or any product shots. I need to see it. I can't wait. Then at the side, as always, we get the incredible hand-drawn artwork of the Alicon in the bot mode with his nice spear, and it says that he's a deluxe class, and he's a very classy little deluxe indeed. When we open up the box, we get the map. I don't know how many of you are collecting these maps or doing anything with the maps. We get a Quintesson logo at the top, and then there seems to actually be two red visor things on this, and the first one is Junkion, even though we haven't seen any Junkions yet, and Gigatron. Maybe I'm pronouncing that, sorry if I'm butchering that, guys. So that's where we are with what we have on the red visors. I'm keeping this like this. Is anybody out there building the maps? Let me know what you're doing there. And that's pretty much it, apart from the destructions. So the destructions that we get with this are your normal fold out destructions, some nice product shots. The transformation on this one is very easy indeed. And with that, let's crack on with the main figure. Moving on to the main event himself, and he is quite literally a beast of a figure. Really impressed with this alt mode. They've done an absolutely fantastic job here, certainly from a G1 kind of accuracy level on this. This is certainly one of the best Alicons I've ever seen, and at this price range, definitely the best Alicon I've ever seen. If we get some closer, we can see there's so much molded detailing. The only challenge looking at it aesthetically is I wish I kind of just done something a little, maybe a little bit cleverer with these arms, had them fold in or something instead of just sticking out at the back. But really, as I move the piece around and looking at it, that is the only bit that I say lets this figure down at all. Everything else looks incredible. Molded detailing on this. We have some really nice paint on the teeth, on the eyes, the nice two-tone here on the front of the head with the nice pink here with the kind of a bluey grey type thing here, and then the really nice darker silvery grey here. We have, okay, these are kind of rubbery, these spikes here that are still rather nice. Teeth looking great with a lovely red splash of paint going through there. Then the arms are rubbery as well, so they're not posable and they're not articulated really, apart from you can move them like up and down, but we'll get to the articulation in a second. Again, spikes are a little rubbery here, but they still look pretty cool, but just not much posability you can get out the arms. As we move down to the legs, lots and lots of molded detail with a little bit of silver paint there to break it up. Huge massive tail on the back here. Really nice the amount of molded detailing and work that's gone into this. He really does just look like a really aggressive alligator machine. Rah, it's just, I find it difficult to put into words how awesome this guy looks. Articulation on this guy, let's start in the obvious place. The mouth is really good. You get a nice wide jaw, so you can have this jaw pretty much as wide as you need it to go. You can fit Transformers in there quite securely as well. They hear the nice snap that you get there, so it clips together really well and will be able to hold up to anything that you kind of put in it. Then on the arms, we have some nice articulation here on the arms, just goes up and down. You can get it all the way around the back due to the transformation, but you can't get anything left. This is all rubber, similar to the rubber that's used on the Quintesson's tentacles, so you can move it, but yeah, just watch out for any stress marks that you're going to get around the sides here. As we move to down, we have leg articulation, bit hindered by the rest of the body, but the way that he has to kind of squat down in his alt mode, it's fine. It's not too bad. You do get some nice extra articulation here, so you can see you get a nice articulation at the wrist, but then just at the lower thigh, you also get some swivel. Then you also get nice knee articulation and nice toe articulation forward and back, and side articulation. So for such a small figure, really nice leg articulation. They've definitely thought about how you want to pose it. You get a slight hip swivel, but this big tail here at the back really does obviously hinder anything that you can do with that. But you do get a little whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. You do get a nice little tail articulation there as well. So from an articulation point, you can really get some good poses out of this little dude however you want. I think that this is really good for such a small little figure. Is there a couple of challenges with the articulation? Yeah, I'd like to have seen something in these arms so I can get them to pose anything apart from just up and down. But with the rest of the articulation that we have, that's really is a very small point to make. You can get a little bit more rotation if you want. And actually the box art, if I show you on the back of the box, you can see here that the arm doesn't connect in here on the transformation. So if you want a little bit, you can unpeg it from there, and you can have him then move his arms around as much as you want, so you can get some added articulation there for posing, but it's entirely up to you. I have to say I don't really like the look as much there when his arms are out as much like that. The Alicon does come with one accessory. Well, he actually comes with two accessories, I guess, because this comes off his back piece, but we'll go into that after the transformation. And the other accessory he comes with is a spear. The spear can be used in two different ways in this form. He can hold his little spear here, or the spear can, using this peg, can actually peg into the hole here on the back, which looks okay. I kind of wish he'd come with two spears so that you could have them. I'm very much into my symmetry, especially when it comes to my figures. I don't really like having something that's asymmetrical, so for me I wished it had gone here in the middle of the back. Having something asymmetrical like that really annoys me, so I would definitely have him holding it like this if he was going to hold a spear in this form. Something else you can do, he has the ports obviously for the siege figures, so you can weaponize the dude up with extra if you wanted to hold something like little knives, or if you would like to have something more spiky on the side like this, or if you would like him to have maybe a gun coming out of his arm sockets and things. You can do all of those things, but something that I like, but something that I actually really like and I think is a nice bit of fun, is you can get the helicopter blades from Springer. You can attach these helicopter blades to the back and you can go, come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. I think it's really cool. I like this a little flying Alicon helicopter mode. Nice. Look how happy he looks. He's so happy to be flying. So for a quick comparison, start with the Quintesson Judge, so we can see that in this form, obviously in this form he is hunched down a little bit, plus it's a deluxe figure, so he's a little bit shorter than the Quintesson Judge, who is a Voyager size. If I look at the Sharkticons, so this is the MechFans Toys version, but it's the same size as the Hasbro Legends size one. So you can see he is bigger than Sharkticon by quite a way, even though he is still quite hunched over. Wheeljack, I'll show these guys in their bot mode rather than the alt mode, because essentially this dude is standing on his legs. So you can see he's up to elbow height kind of on Wheeljack, and then if we look next to something like Cliffjumper, he's actually about the same height as Cliffjumper in this form, so looking pretty good, pretty nice. So as you can see, even in this mode, he is a lot of fun. So now we are going to do the transformation. Transformation on this dude is very easy, but not what I wanted from the transformation. I'll kind of explain why at the end. Let's start the transformation. We can just go 1, 2 here. So just fold the arms in against the side here, and at this point you can just unbuckle the arms as well, because they're just tabbed in there at the sides. Move everything down, and then everything really starts here at the tail, where we can lift the tail up, spin the tail around, and then bring the tail down, hoist him up, and swivel. Oh, bring the tab out, swivel the hips, bring the hips down, and then just lock this into place. Bring his head out, and then finally we twist and we twist. And that, my friends, after you snap the back in like that, is your Alicon fully transformed. One of the quickest transformations, I think, from the new style of Transformers. A very impressive looking figure in this mode, but I did say that I would let you know what I feel about the transformation. I like the transformation, I like the fact they made it so simple, but I really wish they'd found a way to make the jaws come out of the belly, to make it just realistic to the way that they transformed in the animated movie. That would have been really cool. So that's the only bit I think that just lets it down just a teeny bit. Other than that, this guy is incredible. This Alicon mode in both forms is absolutely beautiful. And where I did have maybe one challenge with the other side, in this mode I have no beef with it at all. Let's bring him in and look at the detailing as we go through. This head sculpt is incredible. Really nice red eyes, the kind of bluey grey molded detail and paint that goes in there. I love this kind of two-tone face mask, really nice shiny silver with the pinky purple bit behind it. Really nice head sculpt, and then the shark type fin on the top of the head. This is rubber, so it bends a little bit. I hope that it stays as straight as it is now and doesn't kind of flop over at any point. You got the molded detail here on the shoulders with a little bit of silver paint and molded detailing as we go through. But these spikes just really do set it off on the side. It looks proper metal. It looks incredible. Really cool. Again, like, these are the same spikes obviously that are shared with the alt mode. So these are quite rubberized spikes. Looking down in the movie, obviously you saw a little bit of this piece here was kind of here on the stomach. So we haven't got that if you're looking for cartoon accuracy, but I don't mind too much because it looks really good. This little green plastic bit covers up the transformation piece around here, but also just adds a little bit more molded detailing. The legs are molded detailing exactly the same way as we saw from the alt mode because they are just shared. Then as we come around the back, we have this lovely beautiful tail here as we did with the last piece. So much molded detail in there. Covers up the head a little bit, but you can still see it on show a little bit, which is nice. So all in all, from a molded detailing point of view, absolutely incredible. Articulation, this guy's not too shabby either. At the head we get some really nice head articulation here actually. For such a kind of sunken in Quasimodo style head, you can get some really nice head turns, and definitely the look up that you can get, I think this is due to the transformation as well, is really impressive. Arms, yeah, they articulate, you can get a full 360, then the arms can bend out as well, and they also articulate at the elbow. You get some hand articulation, full 360 there, and then these bits here, they just kind of sit against the side here. Hips, you can get a little bit more out of it. In this mode, you may have to move the tail and the head out to get even more, so you can get a full 360 where needed, but you just have to move things around a little. The leg articulation is the same as it was. You can get a full swing back if you move it past the tail, which isn't too bad. You can get a little bit more swivel at the thigh, obviously, knee bend, and toe articulation, the same as we had there. Tail articulation is still here, and you can pop this out as well. When you get the figure, I'll show you how this comes. You get the figure like this. So this actually is unclippable and clippable back on, so I'll clippable this back on. It's just on a mushroom peg there, and it just sits there. I guess you can take this off if you really don't like the look of this. When we look at the accessories in this piece as well, obviously he has his spear again, and the spear can just fit in on this side and then also around the back. So this articulation piece here can actually pull out to add as a little added kind of sword knife type affair here. So that's really cool. That just hides away there and becomes part of the tail. So really cool, really nice. They've really thought about it. The guy is very poseable, nicely articulated. Can he ninja kick? I don't know, let's find out. Yeah, he can ninja kick like a bad boy, holding all of his weapons as well. So really well done to Hasbro. Really nicely formed figure. Time for the comparison. So let's bring him in with the Quintesson. So the Quintesson from Earthrise is a Voyager class, and you can see that he's a lot bigger than the Alicon here, obviously, who is a deluxe class, but they look pretty nice and pretty impressive together. Also, obviously, this is the Mech Fans Toys version of the Sharkticon, because I don't have the Takara Hasbro version, but he stands fairly nicely above them. Obviously this one was more legend size, this one is now deluxe size. And just to see how he stands up against some of the other deluxes, so here's Wheeljack, and let's see how he stands next to Wheeljack. Pretty much about the same height. Wheeljack's got a little bit more clearance, and then next to Cliffjumper, you can see he is still much taller than Cliffjumper, even though Cliffjumper is a deluxe still. Final recommendation on this guy, should you pick him up, 100% yes. I'm guessing a number of you will want to do army builds. There's also a different variant of this guy that's coming out from Takara, like I said, that's the more pinky version that's coming from the back of the boxes. And also there's a variant with a different head sculpt that you can find in the pit. So there is multiple versions of this figure. I think it's a really, really nice figure. I was hyped about this the second I saw it. It was one of my first pre-orders, but it's come through a little later than I would have hoped. But I'm so glad to have this dude in my collection with my other Quintessons now. Thank you so much to Hasbro for actually releasing some Quintessons. Please put them in the goddamn show! Alright guys, let me know your thoughts on this dude down in the comment. Are you army building this? How many have you got so far? I've only got one. I probably won't army build these, but I probably will pick up some different variants as they come through. And as always guys, if you're new around here, give me a like, a share, and a subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!